Ervin Dayalom, in one of his books, Stare to the Sun, is talking about memory. A 40-year-old woman, a successful and wealthy woman, goes to him. Mr. Dayalom is a psychologist. This woman was suffering from not being happy, one thing a lot of us have been struggling with. And Dayalom's answer is fascinating. He says, accept the responsibility and be happy. See yourself as a victim and be sad. When I was reading this sentence, I was like, oh, he's right. One of the most practical ways of being happy is when you see yourself completely responsible in any situations. And as I was thinking, I remembered that whenever I saw myself as a victim, I was completely upset for a long period of time. Let's dig deeper. It is a very nice topic to talk about. Welcome to Nipa Podcast. This is episode 12. Happy responsible, unhappy victim. Go! Part 1. How seeing ourselves as victims keeps us from tasting happiness. There's something no one really tells us. When you see yourself as a victim, even if you truly are, your happiness goes up in smoke. Why? Because when you choose to see yourself as a victim, you're saying, there's nothing I can do. I'm not responsible for this situation. And you wait for someone else to save you. And usually, no one comes. Viktor Frankl, the Austrian psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps, has a famous quote. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Source, Man's Search for Meaning. Even there, in a death camp, there were people who chose not to see themselves as victims. Yet, in our everyday lives, with a late project, an unanswered message, a family argument, or not having enough money, we label ourselves as victims of circumstances, forgetting we can still choose. Imagine you don't have time to study a language. You keep saying, I'm a victim of my busy life. This mindset shuts your brain off from looking for solutions. It's like telling yourself, since I'm helpless, I don't deserve to be happy. And honestly, there's a strange comfort in staying the victim because it lets us avoid taking responsibility. But this mindset blocks you from even the smallest joys. Mark Manson, in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, says, victimhood is a false sense of external control, but refusing to take responsibility internally steals your happiness. If you keep choosing victimhood, you fall into a cycle. You're constantly unhappy because you feel you can't change anything. And because you're unhappy, you continue feeling like a victim. Long story short, the more you see yourself as a victim, the more happiness feels like something distant and impossible. And this cycle keeps going, unless you pause one day and ask, okay, but what can I do about it? Part 2. How taking responsibility instantly makes us feel better. Now, let's look at the other side. Why does taking responsibility, even when your external situation doesn't change, make you feel better? Jordan Peterson, in his book 12 Rules for Life, says, responsibility isn't something that takes away from you. It's what gives you your life meaning. Taking responsibility means instead of saying it's everyone else's fault, you say, what's in my hands that I can change? Let me give you an example. One of my students, one of Nipa's students, they had a demanding job, a small child, and zero free time. But every day during their commute, they listened to a podcast for 15 minutes. And at night, they reviewed flashcards for 10 minutes. The result, they reached the B1 level in 6 months. They didn't do anything huge, but they decided to take responsibility for their learning. even in a tough situation. And the moment they made the choice, they felt better. Why? Because taking responsibility says, I can do something. And that feeling of being able brings happiness. Nietzsche says, man is only truly happy when he finds meaning in his suffering. And you find meaning in your struggles when you realize this struggle is part of the responsibility you have chosen to grow. Imagine this. You enter a relationship and it ends badly. You have two choices. You can either play the victim and say, everyone is terrible, or you can take responsibility for your choices and say, I chose this. I allowed this. Now I can choose what to learn from it. The moment you take the responsibility, a strange calm comes over you. Because you're no longer changed to the outside world. You decide how to respond. Basically, taking responsibility is like a golden key. Even if you can't change everything, knowing that there's something you can do makes you feel lighter and happier. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to us. Big shout out to the Nipa team for everything they've done for this episode. And it will be such a heartwarming for us if you follow us on different social platforms. And also, you can find all the episodes on our own website, nipa.academy, nipa.academy. And last but not least, take care of yourselves in these strange times. Till the next episode. Go!